Well, one Brian Stelter, host of CNN's Reliable Sources, of course, was fired, but in his final show, he comes out swinging. I'm a victim. It's not my fault. I'm just like Kaepernick. Wait, what? Ugh. I'm Jazz Berganzo, and this is what's next. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Jazz Berganzo here. Another episode of What's Next, your daily dose of common sense and facts. Hope you guys are doing well. Brian Stelter. Yes, the little potato. Yes, the little eunuch, as Tucker likes to call him, was recently relieved of his duties over at CNN. Yeah, fired. But he had one final show. And of course, in that final show, he played the victim. And of course, playing the victim, he crashed and he burned. Let's take a look. This comes out of the blaze. Brian Stelter tries to pull a Kaepernick, on Laughable Last Show, only proves he deserved the boot. Wow, what a great guy. And there he is, the clown. Newsbusters Chris Houck was kind enough to suffer through Brian Stelter's last episode of Reliable Sources, so the rest of us didn't have to, nor that we would have, but thanks anyway. CNN's new CEO, Chris Light, had made plans to cull the falling far network, of his most obnoxious partisan hacks, and Stelter's last show proved beyond a doubt that Light chose his first victim wisely. Chris Houck. We barely are 5 minutes into the final reliable sources, and the arrogance and hatred for conservatives that the truth is not neutral with Stelter and Carl Bernstein is flowing. They've already shown why it got canceled. So apparently, Stelter is a martyr, believing in something horrible and dangerous called the far right, and sacrificing everything like a certain social justice warrior and former NFL quarterback who crashed and burned when he took the knee. Chris Houck. Second segment for Brian Stelter's final show, the risk of the lives of journalists and how dangerous it is to be one in America because of the far right. Yes, being a journalist in America is just like reporting in China, Myanmar, North Korea, and Russia. Of course it is. He also celebrated himself as a patriot for standing up to demagogues who are lying to our faces. Sarah Reese Jones, Brian Stelter, closes Reliable Sources by saying, I know it's not partisan to stand up for decency and democracy and dialogue, and it's not partisan to stand up to demagogues. It is patriotic. We must make sure we don't give platforms to those lying to our faces. Let's play a little.
That's why it's loony to say the media is the enemy of the people. The media is the people. People are flawed.
No,
hopeful and believe
the media is not the people.
And that's the watchword here. Accountability. So this show's going
wow.
Away. There's going to be so
balls.
More. We need to have room for media criticism and debate and discussion, and we will. So much of the media ecosystem in 2022 is garbage, but so much of it is spectacular. The hard part is sorting out the treasure from the trash. These are thorny, complicated things. I know I never had all the answers. I didn't even always have all the questions. But it was the gift of a lifetime to get to confront these issues on international television with the backing of CNN. Here's what I do know. I know it's not partisan to stand up for decency and democracy and dialogue. It's not partisan to stand up to demagogues. It's required. It's patriotic. We must make sure we don't give platforms to those who are lying to our faces.
Oof.
But we also must make sure we are representing the full spectrum of debate and representing what's going on in this country and in this world. That's why CNN needs to be strong. That's why I believe CNN will always be strong. You viewers at home, it's on you. CNN must remain strong.
Thank you, Mr. Potato. Wow, what a great guy. Shockingly, not everyone agreed with Stelter's self-assessment. The great one, Mark Levin. Good riddance, Stelter. You and your ilk have done grave damage to a free press. Another Twitter. Almost as dangerous as being a Supreme Court judge. Chris Houck. This is something CNN, Stelter, Reliable Sources never accept. The First Amendment applies to all of us, not just journalists. We have the right to offer legitimate criticism of the press, and doing so is not violent, nor is it a death threat. Another. Stelter and Darcy were Baghdad Bobs for Democrats and did more damage to the reputation of journalism, if more could actually be done, than any of the two people in the industry. They acted directly on the behest and behalf of the DNC, presenting unreliable and dishonest sources. Maybe that should have been the title of his show overall. Hauk, CNN's Brian Stelter decries outside criticism and journalism of poisonous cloud and spread throughout the country and around the world. He adds he's proud to have worked at a network where they knew they had to fight and attack Trump. Scott Adams, congratulations to Brian Stelter for being the only person ever to leave CNN for a non-penis related reason. Nice. While some hosts at the Blaze, such as Beck, try to be gracious about Stelter's exit, others couldn't help celebrating. On the news and why it matters, Blaze host Sarah Gonzalez and guests talk about Stelter's getting the axe and the future of CNN. Let's check out a little bit, shall we?
Well, I'm sorry. Welcome to the news and why it matters. I'm Sarah Gonzalez, and I just want to, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry we have Stu Bergier here, host of Stu Does America. I know, I'm sorry, Stu. Jakub Ujens, Blaze TV contributor and host of The Bottom Line. You're crying too?
Yep.
Very sad.
I don't cry over men, otherwise I would, but Stu does.
Brian
I do.
Stelter is gone. He's
Dun,
no longer
dun,
with
dun.
us. Or at least at CNN.
Yeah. Unless there's new breaking news I didn't hear about. Yeah, he's just not at CNN anymore.
He is leaving CNN. The world's smallest violin is playing right now. They are canceling reliable sources. I can't imagine why. It's almost like the show wasn't reliable at all. But in a statement to NPR, Stelter said he's grateful for the show and his team's examination of the media, truth.
Wow. Wow. Again, I
The
say
media, truth, and the
balls.
stories that shape our world. It was a rare privilege to lead a weekly show focused on the press at a time when it has never been more consequential. And look, I gotta tell you, I did not see it coming in 2022. We would have Chris Cuomo gone, Brian Stelter now gone. Imagine, if you will, a world where also Don Lemon is gone.
Don Lemon.
Would that just be? How about just CNN?
Count the
is
days,
gone? Imagine a world
Don,
in which
'cause
CNN
it's coming.
just no longer exists. Goes the route of CNN Plus, which, you know, God rest their soul.
God, I mean, the sad thing here for Brian is that this is the second time in like 2 months he had a show canceled. Remember, he had a show on CNN Plus too.
Yes.
And that lasted, what, 2 weeks
This has been a
before they
rough
pulled the
go
plug
for
on that
Brian.
bad boy? Yeah.
And it reminded me,
2 times.
Sarah, of getting in the little time machine and going back about 4 years. And one day, our own Glenn Beck decided to go on Brian Stelter's show and talk about something, I don't know, it was like something totally unrelated to the Blaze. And Brian decided to change the interview into a sort of a sandbag about how bad the Blaze was doing and how Glenn was struggling and how his company was falling apart. And we go forward a few years after that, and what do we see with the Blaze thriving as one of the biggest conservative media corporations in the world? And Brian Stelter has been canceled twice in several weeks. There's a little bit of me that feels like that is a justified end to the
We're
story.
still here.
Oh, I don't believe in karma, but I hear it's a biatch. Yes. My thoughts. Well, for Brian Stelter to get canned not once, but twice within a matter of months. Yes, CNN Plus, that blip on the media surface for what, 15 seconds, 10,000 people subscribed to it, got canceled in 2 weeks. You knew it was going to be trash. You knew it was going to crash and burn before this thing was ever launched. And with that being said, I'm Jasper Gonzo. This is What's Next. Want to see more just like this? Please leave a comment below. Like it, share it, subscribe to it. And we'll catch you guys next time. Peace.